What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a freelance artist journey. This is a special episode in that I wanted to share the comment of a viewer of one of my videos. And I just said, let's just go for it and do this video and we'll see how it goes. But anyway, the commenter in question is Pandosi. That's the best way that I can figure out how to pronounce that. Forgive me if it's a little off, but I'm not going to butcher it any more than that. So this person wrote, first off, let me say that character is so cool. Now, just taking a pause there, they're responding to a video that I did that was titled Commissions: When to Cut Your Losses. And in that video, I do a illustration of a turtle druid for a client. And, it was one of my better pieces. I felt really good about it. And, people are responding to it. So that's very cool. And so the commenter continues, you did an amazing job creating it. And it was an absolute pleasure to watch it progress from sketch to the final colored and detailed image. Secondly, let me thank you for this series. After very few experiences with commissions, I've decided that they really aren't for me. And if in the future I decide to figure out a way to monetize on my work, I'd rather build a portfolio for prints. Because of everything you have mentioned in this video and the latest videos on networking, I'm very shy about putting my name out there and socializing. I don't know how to confidently set a price I'm comfortable with in terms of commissions. I absolutely cannot handle some clients' sense of entitlement and changing their minds on details when the piece is almost done, or ask for endless changes. I work with watercolors, so of course making changes even in the slightest is extremely difficult and sometimes requires starting over completely. But in your series, I learned ways to set proper boundaries in advance and figure out who could be more difficult to work with for my work style and preference, at least. And so I might reconsider my stance on commissions in the future due to knowing how to navigate them better thanks to you. Sorry for this long comment. I'm happy I found your channel and am subbing for sure. And to that, I responded with, don't apologize for the in-depth comment. I love it. Thank you so much for taking the time to write something. I totally understand your position on the subject of commissions. It's not for everyone, even more so in your case using watercolors. Many of us start off doing commissions because it's the most straightforward way to make money from our skill set. Everyone understands the idea of exchanging goods/money for services, but it can be a double-edged sword for many of the reasons you bring up. I believe the ultimate vehicle for us earning income from our art is by turning our work into products of some kind. Hey, that's another video idea. Once I get a better grasp on the subject, I'll put something together. As for the shy part, I get that too. Something I forgot to mention in that video, and we're speaking on my latest video on social networking. But anyway, something that I forgot to mention in that video is that I'm almost 50 years old. I'm getting to the place where I just don't care what others think anymore. It's very liberating. But it could be a little unfair to tell someone fresh out of college to get over their shyness. But if you can manage it, a world of new possibilities opens up to you. Anyway, keep on being awesome. And to that, they replied or responded with, "Thank you for your kind reply. This is a great video idea for sure. Different ways to monetize on an artistic hobby that doesn't have to do with commissions or doing art according to someone else's imagination or taste." I think a lot of people turn to art to express something from their own personal mind and aesthetic. For many, myself included, it's really difficult to try and express someone else's ideas with your hands, if that makes sense. Yes, it does. The few times I did, I just lost all enjoyment because even though it's technically my piece, it's not something I would originally paint. Not something I'd say or want to express. Certainly not something that means anything to me at all. And it just felt stressful and was an awful experience. And to that, I wrote, "No, thank you. I know just how you feel. Money has a funny way of robbing us of the creative passion. I think I'm going to start working on that video right now. By the way, I'd love to see your work sometime." And so this is the result of that conversation. I just felt um, very passionate in that I had to get this out of my head and record this right away. Um, and it's going to be really raw. I don't know what video or what image of me painting I will pair with this, what the title will be, or anything like that. But it's a very interesting topic, a subject that does need to be addressed, and that is the idea that when money gets involved with your art, does it change your approach to doing art, your feeling about doing the art? Is there still that level of enjoyment that you have when you're doing your own pieces? That's a question that we all have to ask ourselves. And I think maybe deep down, we all have that gut feeling that this person does. And we don't address it. We don't talk about it because, we want the money. We need the money. And just for myself, I wholeheartedly agree. Money does change the art. I can see it in my work, and I'm sure other people feel the same way. When you're doing your own work and there's no one hovering over you, figuratively, mentally, or physically, it just feels different. You enjoy yourself more. You're doing something that you want to do, you want to express. And so, of course, it's going to come out better than if there is a few $100s on the line, or maybe 1,000 or more, and there's a deadline, and this person wants a certain feel, a certain look. All of these things affect the work and affect your creativity and your ability to execute. That is just natural. And some of us can handle that better than others, but that does not say that anyone is better than the other person. We're all artists. We all have that need to express ourselves creatively, and we should have the license to do so, unhindered. And so if your work suffers and it's not its best because a client has commissioned it, then you really have to ask yourself, is this what you want to do? For myself, I know that, and I'm pushing myself from an educational standpoint to get good enough to to have my work not be affected by whether it's commissioned by a client or not. It's very difficult to do. Um, and I wonder how many professionals out there would admit to having their work not be as good, or feel that it's not good enough. And is that because of the pressure that is placed on you by your job or an employer or a commissioner or so forth, and how you feel with that based or compared to when it's your own personal work, and how you feel about doing those pieces. Because yeah, I definitely want to get to a place where I'm not doing as much commission work, where I'm doing pieces that I want to do and put out there, and then have those pieces bring in income for me, and not have, like I said, not have to rely on commission work. Now, that's not to say that I don't appreciate the commission work. I love what I do. There are challenges with it, and I've learned to manage those. But at the end of the day, if I had it my way, then, I would wake up at an hour that I felt like waking up. Maybe that's 10 a.m., maybe it's 12, I don't know. And go into my studio and paint or draw what I felt like as I was moved to do so. Things that I wanted to express to an audience. And yeah, I still believe that communication is and should be the primary focus of a visual artist. But there's different, it kind of shifts everything when you're doing it from a place that is not forced upon you. I don't know if forced is the right way to say it, but you're not motivated by someone else's needs and desires and their money, but you're motivated by the desire to say something to the world. And as artists, we are encouraged to have a motivation, to have a reason for doing what we do. And that can get very muddy when your whole career has been focused on pleasing others. And not just pleasing others, but having the very creative process of creating an image be influenced by others. Let's put it that way. But how different would your work and your workflow be if you were not so influenced by others as much as you were influenced by the desire to say something, to communicate an idea, a feeling through your art, and have that come from a what's the word? A self-motivated place, a place where, you are the originator of this thought and you see it through to fruition. And you put that on the page, on the canvas, on whatever, and you let the world see you through this piece and have it communicate a certain thing. What does that feel like? What does that look like? And so, this is something that I will continue to meditate on, think about, and talk about in future videos. I want to dive deeper into actually creating products and things that have your art on it that you can put out into the world and not have to worry about and rely on the commissions of an outside person. I think that's truly the ultimate form for us as artists, is to be able to put our work out there, whether it be prints, maybe be an art book or whatever, but put our work out there and have it be our authentic voice on the page and not have it be influenced by an employer or someone else. You know, now there is another side of that, that a lot of times commissioners, they push us to do things that we would not do on our own, and so to have that art director or that commissioner or whoever the client might be say, you know what, I think you can do better. Sometimes it's a good thing, and we don't always, you know, do our best when we answer to ourselves. And so there are ways to navigate that. I'd like to talk about that and dive deeper into that. But this video has kind of gone on long enough already, and I want to kind of draw it to a close. But yeah, this is exciting stuff to talk about, to think about, and I think it's good for us to have these conversations, and just to give us something to ponder going forward. Where we stand on the subject, what we think about it, how we approach work going forward. Is it just a shift in thinking, or is it actually removing ourselves from the freelance marketplace and doing something that is much more entrepreneurial, in that we are truly taking the steering wheel ourselves and doing our own work on our own terms? And what does that look like? And what avenues do we take that into? And so, yeah, I could go on and on with this. I'm rambling now, but I hope you enjoy this video. Let me know in the comments what you think. Share your thoughts and ideas and opinions for sure. Thank you. Love you. Be blessed and stay safe out there.